Hello friends, welcome back to Pulp channel. I'm Cheryl and we're working on Dephemerember and I am on day 15. This is a belly band and butterfly labels. So I have spent a lot of time really kind of figuring out what I wanted to do on this one because I really wasn't sure. And I found that I had these are actually pretty heavy, kind of a lightweight cardstock, not heavy, but they're recipe cards, which we'll never see that part of it. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to make 3 belly bands, and I'm going to use, I made some ruffles, so that's going to be the common theme in this one is a ruffle. I've got a lace one, I've got this color, and I've got this color. And the butterflies I'm going to use, this one was actually done with distress glazes. I have these butterflies that are kind of like a mulberry paper, but it's like watercolor paper too. I thought, man, what if I put some distress glazes on them? And then I can use like that label. And I've got some others that I can use. But I thought that those would go good on here. I might just put a couple of them on here. So that's one that I'm going to do. And then I've got this white lace. And I've got a couple of just plain labels. And I have these. I have a whole string of them. These are butterfly, but I colored it with the blue. And so I'm going to make labels out of those and put, here's another blue one, a lighter blue. Now notice I cut, this pearl is really tall, so I'm going to cut that off and replace it with a flat back. But I'll put those on there, those labels, and then I'll do something in the middle. And then this last one, I've got all kinds of stuff. I've got this stuff. I've got some black lace that I'm going to put on there. And then I have there it is. I've got like this label. I might put this at the bottom and let this be a big label. Actually, I'll put this at the bottom, put some of this on here, and put a little black lace on it. And then I will use one of these black and silver butterflies. And then I've got some other labels here that I can use. Here's one of these, but we'll figure that out. So that's what I'm going to do. Now, the first thing I have to do is color up these. I have to get my heat gun out, and I have to do some more colored butterflies. And I'm going to do 3 of them so I can pick my favorites. Move these out of the way, and I'll use this one for like an inspiration. And I've got this, but this is my dauber thing. But because this is like watercolor and it's so porous, I think I found that it was better if I just used my pad and pushed it into there really well. Okay. So there's that. And really get some of this Versamark ink on there so the glazes will stick. Find the spots that didn't get any. So yeah, this is kind of like mulberry paper because it's got some little pieces in it, but it's not really, I don't know the papers very well. I don't know if mulberry has to be like a thinner paper. All the mulberry I've seen has been a thinner paper. All right, so there's that. Let's clean up this. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sprinkle I'm going to do a bundled sage, spice marmalade. No, I think I used rusty hinge for the orange because it wasn't too overwhelming. And then I had a broken china. And what I did is I just held these over the top of the jar and sprinkled on a little bit of the colors. Because remember, the glazes are transparent. You're not going to see a lot. I mean, you are going to see through them. They're not opaque like regular embossing powders. Okay. There's that. Okay. Let's do some, oh, you know what I think I did? Well, we'll put this on and then we'll see what. We'll see what other colors we need after I get some of this bundled sage on here. I think I did like a yellow on it, and we definitely got to put some blue in there. Okay, and then I kind of just press that down into there because again, it's a different type of surface. Okay, let's put the broken china on it, and this is what will kind of bring it all together. Oops. I spilled it. All right, so there's that one. Lots of blue in it. Let's also put some fossilized amber in there. I think we need a little bit of yellow to offset all that blue and brown and green. We've got green in there too. Okay. And it's just a mishmash of colors. Okay, let's go to this one. I think we need to put some blue in there. We'll put a little fossilized amber in there. And let's pat it down. And we'll heat those and see what they yield us. Come on. All right. Get my heat gun up here. Now, here's an alert. I'm going to turn on my heat gun. It's not a very loud heat gun, but it is heavy duty, let me tell you what. Grab just that corner right there. Oh, before I do this, I don't want that embossing glaze to melt onto my Don't want it to melt onto my tile. So this does some interesting things when it melts. It's not like typical glazes. In fact, I almost thought at first that it didn't melt. But I also don't have a whole lot on there. You can start smoking here in a minute. All right, there's that one. And I noticed the little pieces in the paper turn real dark. So they look almost like spots on there. And there's that one. All right, now these have, I'm sure they're hot. Okay, this one's a little lighter than the other one, and they almost don't look the same size, but they are. And then I'm going to take my Molotow pen, and you see how I went around the edges? I'm going to do that because I want to offset it. So I'm just going to go around the edges with this black pen. You could do this with a Sharpie. I just like this acrylic pen. I feel like I've got real good control with it. And let's get down around these wings. All right, I'm going to finish going around this and do the other one, and we'll go move on to the next step. All right, there we go. See how much that makes it stand out already? I'm going to scrape that off here in a minute. So the next thing I did is I put some black splatters on them. Y'all know I'm not a huge splatter person, but in this case, I think we need it. And this is Liquitex Professional Acrylic Ink is what I'm using here. Okay. That looks good enough to me. Let me wipe off that pen, put that one in the water, and then let's clean up this ink here so I don't get it all over everything, which, knowing me, I would definitely do. So I'm going to move these way over here. Let's spray some water. And I'm going to get myself a bigger paper towel here. I can't wait till we get to the assembly portion of this. All right, next thing we have to do here is, you see we've got the little antenna up there, and those are done with these little, they're supposed to be flower stamens, but they are not. And I'm going to ink them up all the way because they're white on part of them, and I don't want that because I think part of that white would be showing. So I just want them to be all black. So I'm just going to use this black marker to color the rest of those. One more spot. Okay. All right. Now, that's the new one. This is the one I did the other day. So what we do with these is twist them so that they kind of, go at odds with each other. And then I'm going to take a piece of Scotch tape and I'm just going to tape them on the back because they're going to get glued down to other things. So we just need them to stick to these butterflies. So I'm just doing this with some Scotch tape. Okay. Okay, there's another one. This one's still a little bit wet. Let me run it real quick under the heat tool just to dry it up. I'm off camera, but I'm just heating up that string. I'm not putting it on there very much because I don't want to melt the little pieces at the top. All right, let's do this. I don't know if I'm going to need 3 of these, but I'm making 3 just in case because there's nothing worse than getting to put your project together and you realize you didn't make enough of them. Okay. That one's up a little bit high. Let's take it down. There we go. A little bit lower. All right, and then the last thing I did is I put some bling in the middle of them. And I used 4 of the bling for the body. There's 4. And 4 more. All right, let's just put a bead of glue here. Well, come on. That pin has been in there for a couple of days now, but it's still, ouch, not wanting to behave for me. Well, goodness sakes. Oh, it's got some really clogged up glue, and I keep saying I need to take this nozzle out and wash it, and then after I finish my videos, I forget to do it. There we go. And then a little one here. All right, now I'm going to take the backing off of these. But I'm going to leave them kind of together with, there's little tiny plastic behind them, but that it doesn't really stick out. But it keeps them nice and straight. There we go. There's that one. And then there's this one. All right, so those butterflies butterflies are ready to go. Look at how cute those are. We'll just set them over here and let them dry. Whoops. My antennae came off. Which really, like I said, doesn't matter so much because it is going to get, glued down even more. But we do want it to stick in here. All right, so let's set these aside. Where can I put them? Then I'll remember where they are. And then the next thing that we need to do is take 2 more of these butterflies and color them. I need to buy some sprays. I don't really have any sprays, and I know it would really help. So I'm going to cut off without cutting into the butterfly. Come on. There we go. Cut off these big round pearls because they're just too bulky to go in a journal. I don't want those. All right. We'll come back and put the other pearl in when we get these 2 colored. So I think what I used was tumbled glass and broken china. Those were the 2 colors that I used. Tumbled glass and broken china. Get a little more tumbled glass out here. Whoops. Excuse me. Spray some water down, and then let's just, oh, these got a little bit of black splatter on them, but that's okay. So I'm going to dip that down into that color, and down into that color. I should have wet these before I put them in there, so they would pick up the color better. And if there's a little white on there, that's okay. All right. So there's that one to dry. Let's put this one down here and get it nice and colored. Oh, I know the other thing that I did. Let's put down a little bit more tumbled glass. Just a little bit. Okay. All right, so there are the colored butterflies. Whoops. I knocked something off of my shelf here. Now, do you see how these have the feelers on them, the antennae? I don't like those because I want them to be a little more subtle like the ones on the other butterflies. So I just cut these off. So there's that one. There's that one. And that one. I'll throw those away. All right. All right, let me go off and dry these, and I won't keep you guys on here because I know it's loud. It can get loud. So I'm going to go dry these, and I'll be right back. All right, you guys, they're dry, and I had a happy accident. I held my heat gun on these a little bit too long, and you see how they buckled up? This one did quite a bit. This was the one that was already dry, so there was no moisture to absorb any of the heat, and then this one. So I love how the edges crinkled up. That was my little happy accident there. All right, we need to put the stamen on, or the antenna on. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to see if I can do this without having to color them, if I can get just the black. You know, I don't know if I want to put those on there, actually. Let's get some flatback pearls. I may not want to put antenna on these. You don't have to have it. I'm going to take my Fabri-Tac, though, because I am gluing to fabric. I'm just going to put a little dot right in the middle here. And then, let's see, what size do I want? I think I just want... That's a little too big. Now, this is the trick. Grabbing these suckers. There. Just a nice little, see how little that is in there? I love it. It's subtle. It's right in here. I didn't want anything too big because I don't want to make it too bulky, but I did want to give it a little bit of, I could put some bling in there as well, I guess, but I think the pearls goes better with the lace. The pearls go better with the lace. My grammar is way off. Okay, and the last one is right here. All right, so there's our 3. With the pearls in the middle. And like I said, I'm not going to put the antenna on. Don't want to do that. All right, so the next thing we have to do is start making these butterflies into tags. And one of the things that I want to do is I want to stamp a little bit of script on here. Here's my script stamp. There it is. And let's get out our black soot, or do I want, let's do a blue. Let's do, I'm going to test this first, but let's try. Nope, don't want Mermaid Lagoon. That's too much of a teal color. But a salty ocean. Let me stamp all this off here. Looks like it's still very turquoisey. let's see, what else do I have? Oh, how about blueprint sketch? How about, oh yeah, that's the one I want. And I want just a little bit of that on there to show through. Okay, there's that one. And there's that one. Now, I need one more label if I'm going to do 3, and I don't know if I'm going to do 3 on this one. I have 1 and 2. If I put them kind of at and then what I've got are some white bows. Again, these have got great big pearls on them, so I would need to cut those off. I don't know, I would need another little label under the bow, but I think I like that. Very shabby chic-ish. Let's see what else I have for a label. I think I've got some that are real small and they go horizontal. And I think some of them have real pretty where am I? It's these here. Okay. Let's look at these labels. Now, one thing I didn't do was ink around them, and I don't think I'm going to because this is also light colored. I may ink around the piece behind it, but let's see if I can find a little label. Ooh, this one's got a little piece of lace on it. Nope. Let's see what I can find here. And that looks good, I think. I do want to put these kind of sideways. Then we have a small label with blue on it. And I actually kind of like that with just the 2 butterflies. All right, let's take off this. And this has already got like a black edge around it, so we don't need to edge that up any. We'll just do this. And then go back to our flat backs and find another flat back. Put that right in the middle. think I had that one. On the butterflies, I'll use the same size I did on the butterflies. Keep it consistent. And they're not as bulky as some of the others are. I hate when that happens. My fingers got too gluey. Oh. And the pearl kept sticking to it. And I hate when that happens. All right, let's see if we can do this again. Let me get the glue off the end of the tweezers. And there we go. That actually is smaller than the ones I have on my, I have this size. This was a great purchase. I got this on Amazon and I love it because it's got so many sizes. I want to get one in off-white too, because there's just so many sizes in there. Now, here's my question. So we've got this beautiful lace on here and we've got this here. Do we need to put any other lace underneath these butterflies? Something that I can tear and make it a little bit raggedy. And just a little bit of lace, and I like that a lot. Not a lot, just a little. So hard to tell on these polyester laces which is the right side. Yeah, I think this is too big. All right, and I'm keeping to the white here, even though these labels have a darker color on them, but so does this back paper. And we'll ink that up. I don't know, and I may not ink it up. There you go. What do you think about that for a belly band? I'm not sure I like this whole thing going on here. Not sure I like that, but I like these two. Maybe we put a button in the middle. I'm just not sure I'm really into this. All right, let's put... It looks too staged, too symmetrical, too intentional. It doesn't look at all like random. And maybe I just move these up and just put two of the butterflies on there. I don't know. Maybe I only put one and I put a... I don't know. But I do like the white lace ruffle. Now I'm going to put these on straight, but then I'm going to put the whole piece on at an angle. All right. put some more glue down under here. I thought the glue would seep through that white lace and be enough to hold it down, but it's not. I just love how the edges of these butterflies curled up. What if we put... No, I don't like the bow. I don't like the bow. All right, let's glue down the lace to the cardstock so it doesn't keep moving around. And I made all of these ruffles before I came online because I knew you guys, I think y'all know how to make ruffles. If you don't, let me know in the description and I can give a little tutorial on that. But I think y'all know how to do that. And I didn't want to take up time. Plus, I wanted to see how the ruffles were going to look. This is some really nice lace. It's nice and sturdy. I don't want to say thick because it's not. I had another one picked out that was just too bulky. It was really pretty, but it was too bulky. So I switched to this one. Oops, where's my paper towel? Got some fibers on the end of that are giving me fits. All right, let's put that down and then we'll kind of glue this down too since it's sticking up a bit. All right, so there is our ruffle. And I'm trying to get this bottom one to clamp down and stay. So let's just put a little clamp on that. All right, so now what if we put these here? And what if we used let's see what I've got in here for blue stuff. Oh, I've got a blue sticker here. I could put a blue one under there. Got a blue one sticking up there. I like this one. I don't like this one. Put a blue one up there. There's a couple of little labels. This gives me more labels in this as well. I need one more blue one. Those are all brown. One more blue one. Come on. Maybe I'll have to use this one. So what if we put this one under here like this? And that one like that. I still feel like we need something in the middle. What do we need in the middle, folks? Yell at me through the video. Or do I just need to move these closer to each other and just have the two and move these a little closer to each other? Nope, they need to be a little farther apart. How about if we look for... Oh, I know what we could use. We could find a little charm, a little silver charm, and hook it on there in the middle. Would give us a little bit of metal, and it would give us something in the middle there. Let's see what I've got. Let's see if I have a little butterfly I could use. There's one. I really like that one. Let's see what else I have. I know I've got a lot of different butterflies in here. Oh, I have these butterflies too I could have used. I have too much stuff. I just have too much stuff. Okay, let's see what's in here. I think there's a butterfly in here, another one. Could put a kitty cat on there. Where's my other bud? I know I saw another one in here. Oh, I could put a little bird on here. There's the other one. What if we just put... What if we did this? We put the bird on there, and... I mean, not the bird, but the butterfly. And I will put like a piece of lace or fabric or something right behind that butterfly, also hanging off of that. I'm going to use a bulb pin. I suppose I could use a safety pin, but I'm not gonna. All right, so here's this here. And then let's get this. And then how about a piece of... That's not the right color blue. I was going to put a piece of blue lace behind it, but let's see if this works. This is like a fabric ribbon, and it's also got a little tiny bit of pink in it. That's okay. Oh, I got that way off center. Let's see if we can get it a little more in the center here. There we go. Oh, my allergies. It's not exactly the right blue, but I think it will do, and I think I like that. Like that. Now I'm gonna, as I've been doing, I'm gonna put this off to the side because I'm at 51 minutes already. I'm gonna put this off to the side, and then I'll put it all together and come back and show you. I think the others will go pretty quickly. Let's do this one, and let's go ahead and glue it down. I'm running out of that glue. I like that little bottle of glue. That's kind of becoming my best friend. It's easier to squeeze. It's, I don't know, I just like it better. All right, let's put this down. All right. Here is this. Now, this one is going to be these black and silver. And what I've got for those is I've got some kind of gold lace trim, and then I have some black, and then we'll put a label over the top of that before we put the butterfly on. Okay, there's that. There's that. And I don't want to get them too fancy. And then there's that. So I've got the kind of brown lace, the black lace, and then the black butterfly. And I'll probably go in and ink these edges up before I glue it down permanently. Okay, so there's that one. Now, this is worthless on any kind of fabric. Okay, there's that. Let's see, what else do we want for a label in here? I think I have this one pulled out, but I think it's too big. There's another one of those little guys. And then let's put another one that's fairly. So that goes down with that. That goes up like that. And that goes like that. Postcard's going to go like that. And that's how it's going to look. Okay? What do you guys think of that? Put some labels and some butterflies. And I'm going to set that one aside. Now, for this one, I'm going to try to get all 3 of these on here, but I need let's see, what do I need for labels? What if we did this? Put a green and a red to match the green and the reds in the... I do have some smaller ones. These are more just a brown. Oops, I lost my antennae again. I'll get those on. I might like that better than those great big ones. The great big ones are too big. Let's see if I have another neutral in here. I do. There we go. And then this one goes in the middle. So we'll have 3. One without a label behind it. And I'll probably go in and stamp a little bit of text on that. Let me go finish these up, and then I will come back and show you. All right. Did you guys miss me? I was gone a long time, but not for you guys. Okay, I cleaned up a little bit in here so we can see them. All right, everything's glued down and done, and let me go through them. I'm going to start with this black one. So these are kind of fall colors, and like I showed you, I had this kind of gold-colored lace, had some black lace, a label that I put behind the butterfly to make it a butterfly label, and then the same thing down here. I did also put some black bling along the body of these guys. And then I edged up the little card with black so it kind of matched. But anyway, there's that one. Here's this one where we use the distress glazes. I can move these up now because they're dry. Use the distress glazes to color up these butterflies. I've noticed that I like putting my butterflies at an angle. Now this middle one there's no label behind it, and I put it just straight up and down. And I do want to note that when I go to use these, I might tuck some other little labels in, or I might do some different things with it, but these are certainly ready to go as is if I need them. I did stamp some ink. Oh, I put a little bit of lace right behind these labels. Okay. And then this one. I love this one. So this is the white lace, the blue butterflies, and I got those little pieces of little labels. And then on this, I love this. I found a white mother of pearl button that I put behind the butterfly, and then I put it on with a silver bulb pen. And I really like that. I think it really balances it out. So there is day, is that 15? Belly band and butterfly labels. We are done with that one. I hope you like it. If you did, please consider giving me a thumbs up and subscribing. I know a lot of people who watch are not subscribed, but if you do, you'll get the notifications when I'm going to be on again, doing more videos. So please subscribe and like and all the things. And have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.